The Tale of the Three Questions. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there was a wise and benevolent king named Ethelred. He ruled over a vast land where people lived in harmony, prospered, and were content under his just rule. Despite his success, King Ethelred often pondered deeply about the nature of life, leadership, and purpose. He felt there were three questions that, if answered correctly, would guide him to become not just a good king, but a perfect ruler. The questions were: what is the right thing to do? Who is the most important person to listen to? And when is the right time to act? For years, he sought counsel from the wisest scholars and sages in the kingdom, but no one could give him satisfactory answers. Determined to find clarity, King Ethelred decided to embark on a journey across his kingdom in search of someone who could answer these three questions. He left his palace in simple clothes with no royal entourage, hoping that by living among his people, he might find wisdom in unexpected places. After many weeks, he arrived at the humble hut of an old hermit who lived deep in the forest. The hermit was known for his insight and compassion. The king humbly approached the hermit and asked his three questions, but the hermit, without saying a word, continued digging in his garden. King Ethelred, seeing the hermit's frailty and exhaustion, took the shovel and began helping him with the work, hoping that in time, the hermit might offer his wisdom. Hours passed, but still, the hermit said nothing about the king's questions. As dusk fell, a wounded man stumbled into the clearing, bleeding profusely from a deep wound in his side. Without hesitation, King Ethelred rushed to the man's aid, binding his wound with torn strips of his own tunic. The hermit fetched water from the nearby stream, and together they tended to the injured man throughout the night. The next morning, the man awoke, filled with gratitude and shame. He confessed to the king that he had come to kill him, seeking revenge for a perceived wrong done to his family by the royal guards. But after receiving such unexpected kindness, the man begged for the king's forgiveness, vowing loyalty to him for the rest of his days. King Ethelred forgave him and, realizing the profound lesson in the encounter, turned to the hermit with renewed understanding. The hermit, finally breaking his silence, smiled and said, "You have already found the answers to your questions, Your Majesty. The right time to act is always now. The present moment is the only time within our control. The most important person to listen to is the one who is with you at this moment, for they are the ones who need your attention the most. And the right thing to do is always to help, to show kindness, and to serve those in need, for in doing so you fulfill your duty as a human being and a king." King Ethelred realized that the answers he had sought were not to be found in grand acts of wisdom or abstract philosophy, but in the simple acts of compassion, attention, and kindness that he had shown the hermit and the wounded man. From that day forward, King Ethelred ruled with greater wisdom and humility. He understood that true leadership was not about power or prestige, but about being present for his people, listening to their needs, and acting with compassion in each moment. The three questions, what to do, who to listen to, and when to act, became the guiding principles of his reign, and under his leadership, the kingdom flourished like never before. His people loved him not only for his wisdom, but for his unwavering dedication to doing what was right in every situation, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. In the end, the king learned that the greatest wisdom lies not in the answers themselves, but in the way we live our lives in service to others, moment by moment.